Welcome to Professional Riches, where we teach you the ins and outs of making money in the TF2 economy. Today's episode is going to be on TF2, is sharking a scam? Now, to start off, let's get the formal definitions of sharking and scamming. If we go to dictionary.com, sharking as a noun is defined as a person who preys greedily on others, as by cheating or usury. Or the second definition as a noun, informally, a person who has unusual ability in a particular field. As a verb used with an object, to obtain by trickery or fraud, steal. A verb without an object, to live by shifts and stratagems. I don't know what that means, but that's one of the definitions. Now, in other words, for the noun definition, informally, sharking is a person with an unusual ability in a particular field, meaning a person with a large amount of knowledge in a particular field. And by preying greedily on others, as by cheating or usury, it's a person with a large amount of knowledge in a particular field, using trickery to make money off of someone with less knowledge in a particular field, particularly someone new. Now, what is scamming defined as? As a noun, scamming is defined as a confidence scheme or other fraudulent scheme, especially for making a quick profit, swindle. Or as a verb used with an object, to cheat or defraud with a scam. So in other words, if someone is scamming someone, the person that's doing the scamming is using a fraudulent scheme. So fraudulent means it's not allowed. So a scheme that's not allowed to exploit someone else for a quick profit and make some money. Now, let's get the informal Team Fortress 2 community definitions of scamming and sharking. For scamming, as it's basically what I said before from the dictionary.com, it's when someone with knowledge attempts to exploit someone without the knowledge to make a quick profit off of them. That's sharking. Now, for scamming, in TF2, it's referred to as someone who tricks someone else into giving them an item or giving them a trade and not delivering on their side, or giving fraudulent information, where basically in scamming, the end victim user is lied to by the scammer. Now, with that information in mind, let's take some examples on what is a scam and what is a shark and what is both, because a shark can be a scam, or a shark may not be a scam. It depends on the situation. Now, let's say that a person, Bob, is new to TF2. So Bob just joins a TF2 public server, say he's playing on Badwater, Halo Badwater, and Bob just happens to, let's say he buys a key from the Namco store, unboxes a crate. Standard situation. He unboxes a crate and let's say he gets an unusual. Now, let's say that unusual that he unboxes is worth a value of 25 keys. And someone else on the public server sees that he unboxes 25 key unusual, and the monkey's like, hey, you wanna, do a little trade? And Bob says, okay, well, what can you trade for me for my purple hat? And that person puts in, let's say that person puts in like another unusual. So this guy puts in an unusual worth 20 keys. So now in the trade, there's this 20 key unusual and there's this 25 key unusual. So Bob asks him, like, how do I know this is a good trade? Maybe you're ripping me off and my unusual might be valued at a lot. I don't know what the value is. And the other person says, yeah, well, it's okay. My unusual, it's valued as a little bit more than your unusual, so it's a good deal for you. I just like your hat better. Now, in this situation, yes, the other person is sharking Bob, but the other person is scamming Bob, because after they complete the trade, Bob thinks that he's getting an unusual worth slightly more than the purple unusual he just traded away, whatever that 25p unusual was going to be. So So in Bob's mind, he just traded away his purple unusual that was worth 25 keys for another unusual that was really worth 20 keys, but that he thought was worth a little more than 25 keys. Now, because the scammer told Bob that he was, let's say, getting a better deal, or he was getting a specific deal with wrong information, this is a scam. A scam is defined as a fraudulent scheme to make a quick profit. Now, this is a fraudulent scheme because the scammer is lying to him and explicitly lying to him to get the deal. Now, let's take this in the other direction. Let's say in the same example, Bob goes on Bedwater and he unboxes the 25 key unusual. Now, the sharker who trades him just puts up his own unusual with 20 keys and says, "Do you want to trade?" And Bob simply, after a little discussion, Bob simply says, "Yeah, sure." Now, because of this, there's no discussion of prices, there's no manipulation, no dishonesty. Bob just wants the other unusual because it probably simply looks better. And this is not a shark because there's no dishonesty going into it. Bob knows what he's getting clearly, and he wants what he's getting as well. In summary, a shark is a scam when the sharker lies to the victim and gets the victim to believe that he or she is receiving one thing but getting something else and not what she was led to believe. Now, a shark isn't a scam when the victim agrees to the trade simply because they like the other item and they never were actually lied to or misled to believe something about the item. Now, on a final note, I'm addressing this to people who claim that all sharking is scamming. I'm not saying I support sharking, and I'm definitely not saying I support scamming, but scamming is not, or rather sharking is not scamming because of one simple fact: Steam Rep. Steam Rep does not ban sharkers. Steam Rep does ban scammers. Now, this fact proves that sharking is not the same thing as scamming, because they wouldn't not ban for one thing and then ban for the same thing. No, that just doesn't make any sense. Now remember, I'm not saying I support scamming nor sharking. This is just a fact. Now, in summary, the difference between scamming and sharking, or sharking can be scamming, is that when a scammer scams a victim, then the victim is led to believe something that isn't true that they will receive, which they do not receive. So they are lied to in the process of the deal. Now, sharking, there's no lying in the process. There's dishonesty. Yes, there's dishonesty, but that's from a third party point of view. The victim is not like experiencing the dishonesty, if you get what I'm coming from. Thank you so much for watching, guys. That's gonna wrap up the video. If you haven't watched my first ever video, this is my second video. My first ever video on how to make profit. I'm definitely gonna follow up on that series soon, so please check out that first video. It only has like 8 views at the time of posting this one. And yeah, please check it out. Subscribe. This is a new channel. Give me your support, suggestions. I'm really looking to improve on any videos because, as I said, this channel is really new. So please comment, like, subscribe, do what you gotta do, share it. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Got paid, fucked it up. Pool party in the club. We in this bitch all night. Been doing